It's a boring
I love
thing
birds.
do you?
I love birding. That's what bird watching people call watching birds. Birding.
Ooh. All right.
I studied ornithology in high school for a bit.
Well, every time.
I can identify 30 different New England birds by bird call.
Hold on. Oh. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Honestly, guys, like if you don't know Mollie Lee and you don't know the podcast, or maybe we haven't really talked about it, but every time Mollie sits in this chair across from me, we find out something new about Mollie. I find out something new about Mollie that I'm just like, who are you? Welcome back to a new episode of Inside Hilton's Head, where today I am kind of off of paternity leave. Actually, we're just back in the house. I'm not. We're still
okay. I'm like, that's news to me.
We're still on paternity leave for the next 2 weeks. But at this point, we got it kind of handled. We understand our baby's day to day, what she needs and when she needs it throughout the day. So listeners, Mollie Lee is back in the house. Mollie, hi.
Yay. Hi.
It's good to have you here in the flesh.
Good to be back.
Last week we talked about Planterior, and we did it. It wasn't a in-person episode. We were all via Zoom or Google Meet. I don't know which one we used.
Google
Meet. And we had it that way. So it's good to have you in the flesh. I think this is kind of the only time I get to see you in person.
That's true.
Is when we do the podcast, since you work remotely with me. So it's really great to have you back.
It's nice to be back. It's always nice to be back, especially in this room filled with plants, because I don't come here often. So every time I come, I like really notice all the new growth.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of new growth going on. Some things moving around. You know, we're opening up other rooms, so planters get moved here and there, testing them out in other places. But this is one of my favorite rooms. I was telling someone earlier, like, if you're gonna break up, like, what room is mine versus my wife's, or where we put our stamp on, per se. This is my room. Our new closet that we just renovated is Fiona's, which is awesome because she loves it, and that's great. But since we haven't seen each other in a long time, let's catch up a bit. Yes. Our audience haven't heard from you in a long time. What have you been up to, Mollie?
What have I been up to? Bigger life things, I would say. I moved in with my partner.
Ooh. That's a big move.
Yeah.
We're going to have to save that for another episode, because that's a full thing. Like, that's a whole...
It is. It was a whole thing.
Shift in what life is about.
Yeah.
Once you get there. All right. Beyond that, because I feel like we're going to have to save that for another time.
Beyond that, I've been prioritizing spending time with my family.
Family?
Yeah. I went to go see my family in Connecticut last weekend.
Okay.
For my cousin's baby shower, which was really nice.
That's
I'm
awesome.
really close to my cousin.
Girl.
So they're having a girl.
That's nice. First child?
First child.
Ooh, okay.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
For me as an auntie who is further away.
Yeah, you get to jump in, do your thing,
I get to be cool aunt. Yeah, cool. And then just like peace out.
Love that.
It's great.
Love that for you. Love that for them.
And then also family related, I'm going to go to Korea soon to see my family for my yearly Mecca to the homeland.
Ooh, look at you going back. Where in Korea?
Seoul. My dad lives in Seoul. My mom lives an hour outside of Seoul.
Oh.
So I kind of like go back and forth in between.
Copy that. Hear so much about Seoul. Shout out to friends that we've had on the podcast.
Yep.
Accidentally Wes Anderson. They have a new book coming out.
Yep, they do.
And they feature Seoul, do they not?
They do. They do feature Seoul. They gave like a snippet of that in their Instagram, and I
instantly fell in love because
like, this is amazing.
You were like, it reminds me of home.
Yeah, and I think they just captured it so well. Which what I appreciate so much about Seoul is that it's such a cosmopolitan, huge, bustling city, but also really pay attention and respect the traditions and the older buildings and preservation, and the photos that they captured, I think, did a really great job showcasing and highlighting that part of Seoul that I love so much.
I got to get there.
You gotta.
I got to get you to take me.
Maybe we'll do a podcast episode there. Wouldn't that be fun? Let's do it all in Korean.
No. What? Why? What? But no, I can't wait to visit Seoul. I do have a friend who is a director in Seoul. His name's John Park.
Okay.
He does a lot of...
I think I have like 6 John Parks in my phone book.
Really?
Yeah.
John Park is like John Doe.
Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
It's like a very...
Yeah.
So
Park Kim Lee,
his real name is I'm not. Nope,
don't even bother trying.
Yeah,
I'm already offended, and I didn't even hear it yet.
I'm not even gonna do it. But John is a part of it, so I don't want to say the first part. So it sounds like John.
Oh, okay.
Or not. It actually.
I have an idea then.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't even sound like John, but if you look at it, it looks like John.
Sure.
And he's been there ever since we graduated from graduate school.
Is that where you met him?
I met him in graduate school.
Oh, sweet.
I wasn't in Seoul.
So right.
Yeah. So I met him in graduate school. A lot of the friends that I made at Art Center in the film department happened to be Korean. And John was one of those individuals who I was very close with. He was one of the individuals who I know, and I don't know if this is a Korean thing. There were some Koreans who I went to undergrad with who were also like this. Shout out to Andrew Chang. Illustrator here in Baltimore, actually, still, they would stay up real late at night working.
Yeah.
And whenever I knew I needed to do a art project or something and had to stay up late, I was like, I'm coming over to your house because I know you're going to be up.
That's the vibe there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's to be up late. That's the thing. Oh.
I mean, it's just such a overworking culture that I'm hopeful will change with Gen Z, but it's not great.
There's a thing that just came out that I sent your way about them taking weekends off.
Yeah, right.
They're now allowing you to not work on the weekends. What was it? It was something like that where I was like, okay.
I don't think you're wrong, because I think it was literally like, we're going to be better about sticking to 40-hour work weeks.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was something where I was just like, what? And I was like, I should do that for you here as well. But no, it's like your personal time. Like you're off at 6 p.m. or something. Like that's it. No more work after that time.
That's what they're trying. I mean, we'll see. We really just self-perpetuate this, which is what's worse. But there's also so many like nuances to the Korean work culture that doesn't exist here, which I'm really grateful about, and which is why I probably can't ever work in Korea unless I work for myself.
What is one thing that you typically couldn't do?
The worst parts, I would say, for me was not... Basically, if you're the youngest or you're the lowest of the hierarchy of the totem pole, so me as like the youngest intern, where I did intern in Korea at a consulting agency, you're expected to be the first one there, and you're expected to be the last one to leave every workday in the office.
As the youngest, the newest person on the team.
Yep, youngest, newest, honestly, probably female. There was just like so many levels that are unsaid, but everyone abides by it. And if you don't, like, it will be known that you did not do that.
You're slacking.
So yeah, and that really sucked, because sometimes I'd be like done with my work early, or, you know, I have literally nothing to do, but I would still have to
support
stay there. Yeah.
There's always something to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. Yes.
Maybe I'm Korean.
Yeah, I was like, did you grow up working there?
But no, I get that. I can see, and that maybe that's the workaholic in me to say those are things that I think are very nice.
You would thrive in the work culture in Korea.
People working in that sense. But that's the things that even here, people glorify, especially. And I hear it a lot, not in like offices, but I hear it a lot in sports. They always talk about the guy who comes early and stays late.
Yep.
That's someone who is driven to win, right? And like in sports terms, right? So I guess when you put that in a work scenario, that's a person that wants to see whatever job they're in, that company succeed.
I hear that for sure. I think I'm very much like a work smarter, not
For sure.
You know,
of course.
Working smart is important to me.
We talked about efficiency, right?
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes efficiency doesn't necessarily mean you get there first and leave last. Work-life balance being such an important part to, you know, longevity of people's careers. But also what I think really contributes to Korea's high suicide rate is this lack of work-life balance and these like unsaid expectations in the work culture that really stress people out to, you know, a point where they can't do anything else about it. And, you know, it's really sad. And I think that's a thing that really has to change is the self-perpetuating competitive nature of the Korean workforce. And that's why you should vote for me.
I love it. I love it. Put her on a debate stage. I love it. She has my vote.
Hey.
And if you heard what I said it. That's interesting. I don't know much about the Korean lifestyle, but if that's that, I guess the whole idea of work-life balance is fairly new.
It is
across the board, everywhere. I'm glad that it's happening there as well. A lot of the, I guess, old regime, old culture, some might see it as young folks being lazy. I think when you're talking about in terms of working longer, like keeping someone excited about working for your company, understanding that a fully formed, happy, healthy individual needs to not think about your company 100% of the time.
For sure.
Right. And that in turn gets you a better employee.
Yes.
Right.
It's mutually beneficial.
Exactly. It's mutually beneficial. And I think that is a great thing that is happening across the board. Someone who is on the other side of it. You work with me. It's weird to say you work for me, but you work with me.
I do.
Brian works with me. We have Carson that works with me. Then I think, well, you guys take off. I got something to do here. But then I have my ultimate boss, who is my body. That shuts down when it does. And then also my wife, who's
I was going to say Fiona's the ultimate boss. Yes.
First you got to listen to your body. When your body, and we tell this to our daughter who can understand this, like listen to your body. Does your tummy tell you that you're full or you need more food? Then, do it. So sometimes I got to really tap into the listening to my body part and going, okay, we got to sit this one out.
I think that's really such a smart thing that you're telling Holland at a young age is just to like trust her body and like trust what she's feeling.
Yeah.
Which in turn like kind of I have a question for you, which is just, have you been doing that lately? Because you have a lot going on right now.
Listening to my body. I've been, have I been listening? I've been hearing it. Listening, not so much. Because there's a point where you have to, and we kind of didn't, I wish we were podcasting together here during the Olympics, right? Because there would have been some really good ones. Because I love the Olympics. That was all right, let's start this podcast all the way over again. What was your favorite part about summer? Mine? Oh, the Olympics. Oh shit, I had a daughter. Oh, can I take it back? Let's start it again. Favorite part of the summer. I had a new daughter. And then the Olympics.
And then close second.
Close second, the Olympics. Close seconds. That was a big thing in the Olympics. Close seconds. But to bring it back to the Olympics, is the whole idea of you can listen to your body. A lot of those individuals working themselves towards a medal. Let's say a medal in general, not just gold. At a certain point, I watched so many of those individuals. Their body was saying to them, "We need to stop.
Yeah,
like we're done.
Yeah." And
their mind was like, "Just keep going. Go.
Yeah.
You gotta throw your body across this line. Whatever you gotta do, your body, and you hear it so much. The mind controls the body, right? And that's the thing. So while I'm trying to listen to my body, or I hear my body saying certain things like, you definitely need to sleep. My brain is like, yes, we do need to sleep, but we also need to do this one other thing, and then we can rest. We just need to throw our body over the finish line, and we'll be done. Or at least we'll be done for the moment. We can take a breather, because then tomorrow we got to run the 400.
I was going to say, like, do you have a clear finish line? Because I feel like what concerns me would be if you have that one hurdle and then you're like, okay, one more.
Well, the way you're thinking of it is a hurdle. Each thing is a hurdle. I'm seeing everything as what is it called? A meet? A what? A meet, isn't it what it's called? Like when they run the 100, that's
yeah. Like,
right?
Okay, yeah.
What is that called?
That's a meet, a track meet.
A track meet, yeah. So I see it as that.
Events.
So events. So there's a finish line to each of those things.
Right.
So when I have a book that I'm working on, there's a finish line to that. Right. And then I can sprint, or if it's a relay race, or if it's a marathon, it depends on what it actually is.
Sure.
Like if I'm working on a book and it's a year and a half out if I need to have it done, that's a marathon. I can piecemeal it here and there. I don't have to run. But if it's something that is like hot, it's a 100 mil, and I gotta do whatever I possibly can
just at a certain out.
To just do it. Right. And I feel like that's the thing. And right now, there's a lot of that going on. But at the same time, like, I just mentioned, we had a newborn, and that has been,
I just met her for the first time today.
Yeah, Veda's been like she's the complete opposite of Holland as a baby.
Really?
Yeah, she's like quiet and smiley. Ooh. Like she'll like smile when she's getting her diaper changed, versus Holland was like panicked.
She's like, absolutely not. This is not happening. She was like, this is the worst day of my life.
I hate this all day. So she's like very chill versus someone who Holland, who's like very just like sensitive.
Yeah.
So she's still sensitive, which is great, because her dad is also sensitive. But it's been great to, I think it was a perfect time to be on leave.
Yeah.
Wife and I together. The weather kind of broke early.
Perfect.
Right? We hit it at the Olympics, so we had something to just watch while we're caring and tending to our child. Summer is still summer, so a lot more people are available to come help out, things of that nature. So that has been great. So leaving space for myself to take in the life parts of what makes you fully formed have been great.
Good.
Right? To not focus so much on the social side of things, or the business side, right?
Yeah.
So posting less sounds crazy, but it does help you.
It does.
Mentally.
It
does help you. So
I've
been enjoying that side of it. Sleep wise.
Yeah. Where are we?
We ask this of many of the guests that come on.
No comment. Are you sleeping right now?
You get it when you can get it, right? But I always say, like, it's difficult to complain when I'm not the one who has to stay up with the baby to feed them in the middle of the night. I wake up to change the baby's diaper, and then I hand her off to Fiona, and then I go back to sleep. I still end up waking up pretty early to start my day, because I do like, and the thing is, there are certain things where I'm like, where is the, basically when you talk about what is going to be beneficial to you and your health, while sleep is one of them, right? If I don't have quiet time to myself and I sleep for a really long time and I wake up and things are already going, that does not help me. I'm very like, I hate this day already.
Because you feel like anxious that
because if I wake up and if I wake up and 10 minutes into me waking up, my daughter's awake and I haven't made her lunch and breakfast yet.
That stresses you
This is very, it's stressful because there is no time to breathe.
Right.
It's just going.
The day started.
The day's already started. So I would prefer to lose an hour of sleep and gain an hour of just quiet time to myself.
Of alone time.
Okay,
that makes sense. I think to each their own, for sure.
Exactly.
And for me, I'm definitely like max out my sleep for as long as I can. I don't need alone time.
Well, I don't know if you and your partner plan to have children.
Yeah, that's the plan.
But I would say enjoy all of it while you can.
I think about that more and more as I get older and I have friends who have kids.
Hummingbird.
What?
Hummingbird.
No way.
On the backside.
Where?
Guys who can't hear or see the hummingbird. We have a hummingbird.
I'll be the hummingbird sound.
I can't believe. I can't believe this is making it into the episode, or maybe it won't. Ryan, we'll make the decision later. But Fiona really wanted to talk about this damn hummingbird. Like that's her gossip throughout the neighborhood. I don't know if it's gossip, but like hot topic. She'll bump into one of the neighbors. She's like, "Oh, we got a hummingbird feeder," and like hummingbirds come and visit us.
That's huge.
And I was like, "Stop telling people that." Like it's
why? It's cool.
It's so boring. It's a boring.
I love birds.
Do you?
I love birding. That's what bird watching people call watching birds. Birding.
Ooh. All right.
I studied ornithology in high school for a bit.
Well, every time.
I can identify 30 different New England birds by bird call.
Hold on. Oh. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Honestly, guys, like if you don't know Mollie Lee and you don't know the podcast, or maybe we haven't really talked about it, but every time Mollie sits in this chair across from me, we find out something new about Mollie. I find out something new about Mollie that I'm just like, who are you? What? 30 different New England birds?
Yeah, I think at one point it was 40, but I'm probably sure. Yeah, at least 30 now.
You're losing your ear to birds now.
Yeah, I just don't get to hear as many anymore because I just hear like the same like 15 living in DC.
Okay, while we're here, what do you got in DC bird-wise?
A lot of sparrows, obviously.
That's probably local here too. A lot of sparrows.
Which there are two major types of sparrows that are around these areas, which it's...
everyone's literally turning off this episode, which is fine. Or fast forward 15 seconds or 30 seconds if you want. Mollie, continue.
The house sparrows and then the tripping sparrows. And you can really tell the difference in the males because the house sparrows have like a black throat. And then the tripping sparrows have like this like brown eyeliner.
Did you...
The females look very similar to each other. How
are you seeing eyeliner on a bird, yo? Like what? How are you getting that close to see eyeliner?
These birds are just like, get ready with me.
Hold on. Does she have binoculars out? Is she wearing binoculars when she's seeing this? Are you actual? Is it a birder?
Birder? Yeah, I'm a bird enthusiast.
So you do carry binoculars?
I have. I also there's this bird whistle you can like use, made with like rosin and wood to like get birds to come closer to you. You
have one, or you
I have one, yeah.
All right. Okay.
I like birds.
I like birds. Damn it.
We can move on. I like birds. Period.
All right, we'll move on.
If anyone's in DC and want to go birding with me, please hit me up.
Hit her up. What's your information?
At Mollie Fly and
at Mollie Fly.
Fly. MOLLIEFY. I am still private, which I want to get into that at some point and ask you what you think.
About being private on social?
Yeah, because I have people who are clearly fans of you.
They want to see behind the paywall. Yeah. They're like, yo, what's back there? What you got?
To all those people that I have not said yes to, it is for this reason of I'm like, if I do one, I have to do everyone. Because so far, everyone that follow me are people I actually know, like in real life.
Of course.
So I'm kind of like, is this the time? Like,
is this when you let everyone in to see your world?
Is this when I get famous?
Is it?
Is this when I?
Is that what you would call it?
When I, have my own thing going on?
Yeah.
Is this the moment?
Break it. Break open. Maybe this birding thing could be you. Maybe this
please don't be offended if I haven't said yes yet. It's
you're gonna have
personal dilemma I've been working through. It's not you, it's me. Yeah, it's not you, it's me.
It's definitely her, guys. If you're trying to see behind the request.
But now I'm into birds. So if you're not into birds, just go ahead and don't request
you're also
me.
into so many other things we keep finding out. So I doubt you even... you definitely don't talk about birds on your socials. I don't know why you're even bringing that up, as if they're going to get there and there's all these images of the eyeliner that a sparrow just used. I like basically like close up details of sparrows putting on eyeliner. You know, like I just got this from the Mac store. You know what I mean?
The product showcase.
She's laughing so much. I don't even know what she's saying.
I'm just imagining a bird doing like a get ready with me video.
Get ready with me video. Yeah. I don't. So yeah, but you love food. That's the one thing we know.
I do.
Anyone who does follow you or have listened to you on the podcast, you love food. So that's what the things you're going to see first. And you love plants.
I do love plants.
So you talk a lot about plants there.
Do you still love plants?
You try. How dare you? What I do love is individuals who love to share about their lives, and I love the individuals who have. And this is podcast is basically become me. This episode has become me shouting out people who've been on this episode. Mm-hmm. But a big shout out to Craig Melvin, news anchor and one of the hosts of the Today Show, which I've been on a few times.
I've been dying to meet him. I feel
Craig
like
is one of the best individuals out there. One of my favorite guests on the podcast, was just a very cool, genuine soul, wonderful father, husband. Speaking of that, him and his wife, Lindsay, are having their third annual, I believe, celebrity golf tournament.
I thought you were going to say child. And I was like, what?
No, they do have two children, but their third annual celebrity golf tournament called Bottoms Up Invitational.
Hey.
And they host it.
Amazing.
Someone sitting to your right. I'm that person. I've been invited.
Your center.
I'm center. My center has been invited to the celebrity golf tournament. It's literally if this podcast comes out when it should, which is on Sunday, it starts. I think it starts today. There's like a big performance.
Wow.
Not today on where we're sitting here, but this day when the episode comes out, which is this Sunday, there's a concert on Sunday night. And then we golf on Monday.
So it's like a whole shebang.
It's a whole shebang. Yeah. I'm throwing up air quotes for those who are not watching, celebrities who's going to be there. There'll be big celebrities there, not people like myself. Carson Daly, he'll be there. Football lover, Sterling Sharp, I saw will be there. Hall of Famer. Actually, is he in the hall yet? He should be in the hall, throwing that out there. If he isn't, he should be. Some of the Blowfish. I don't know if Hootie, but some of the Blowfish.
Some of the Blowfish.
Right? Isn't that what you would say? Because Hootie and the Blowfish.
That's true.
So some of the Blowfish. It just sounds I don't know if it's all the Blowfish. Anyway, celebs. All right? So. And we'll be right back after a break from our sponsor. Balancing work and life can be really stressful, and finding ways to work through the stress is always a goal of mine. Of course, the process of nurturing plants helps me to slow down, take a breath, and bring in joy. But unfortunately, my plants aren't licensed therapists with expert advice. Regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or you're just a human who lives in this world who is going through a hard time, therapy can give you the tools to approach your life in a very different way. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. There's a link in my description. It's betterhelp.com/Hilton. Clicking this link helps to support this channel, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a little like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing with therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. Starting this podcast was supposed to be a little extra therapy for me, getting the ideas in my head out. Good to know I can always use BetterHelp just in case Mollie can't help me.
So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Hilton. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for supporting this channel. Now, back to the show.
You're having a fun time.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
I love that. Well, to get back to Craig and Lindsay, his wife, they are basically, this is their third annual golf tournament to support colon cancer research. Craig's brother died at the age of 43 from cancer. So this is a benefit to support research on it. So you can donate.
Yeah.
I think the website, and I might be wrong, but invitational.org.
Got it.
Is where you can donate. So there's still time, and I believe there will always be time for you to be able to donate.
That's super meaningful.
So that's awesome. So I just feel fortunate to be invited. Ryan was also invited. I told him he could be my +1, but he gave me the okie doke, and now he can't come.
Wow.
But Ryan, I will say, Ryan's one of my
wow.
Ryan's one of my golf buddies. We talk about golf. We haven't played since the last time it was his birthday, which was last year. And also just like, Ryan's become a good travel companion.
You guys have traveled a lot.
So we have traveled a lot. So that's, you talk about highlights of the summer. That was one of my highlights as well. Going out to Europe for the book tour, but also hanging out with my bud. We saw some things that I hadn't seen before. He hadn't either, which was Copenhagen.
Right, which you both loved.
We absolutely loved Copenhagen. I got to go back, got to take the family there. We had both been to Amsterdam and also London before, but they were both winners as far as like being there, seeing the things we saw, food, coffee, visuals, art, all the wonderful things that you get you want when you go elsewhere outside of your comfort zone of sorts, right? All the things that you feel comfortable with when you're at home, we got all those things away.
That's so nice.
We felt very comfortable in these cities. So that was a major highlight. Another highlight, since I'm on highlights of the summer, let's put it up there. Let's do the chart. Number one,
the Olympics.
No, Veda, damn you. How dare you? Veda. Number 2, actually Olympics might drop to 4 because I'm going to go 2 was going to Europe with my bud.
Fair.
3, being in a Dunkin' commercial.
Yeah, that was really neat.
I mean, like, come on now. If you're going to Olympics, like I'm not in I was in the commercial.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I'm crossing the
that was really
line.
Cool.
Now, in the spot, I'm probably 5th or 6th place as far as like where you have your top tier people there. I mean, you had your NSYNCs, your is it not One Direction? Your Backstreet Boys. You had Will Arnett.
Yeah, Will Arnett.
Will Arnett
such a fan.
is in there. Corporate Natalie.
Yep.
People know her.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't familiar until they said Corporate Natalie's in this commercial.
Like, who?
And I was like, who's Corporate Natalie? And then I found out who Corporate Natalie was. And I was like, damn right, Corporate Natalie's in this. She is absolutely hilarious. And all these wonderful, Miss Connecticut was there. Nope. Miss Massachusetts. No disrespect to Miss Massachusetts because there are different places.
Yes, very.
Miss Massachusetts makes sense. Duncan is from Massachusetts.
Boston runs on Duncan.
Boston runs on Duncan. There were some major individuals in this commercial, but it's one of those things where you go to be a part of a thing that you are like, what? How am I in this?
Yeah.
And why? And then you go. It was the most fun I've had a day of work in a very long time.
What? That fun?
It was so fun. Like I had so much fun. Like I had lines that I had to say.
Right.
But there wasn't a moment where I ever felt like I was acting. Because I was just like saying the thing that I would say
normally
say.
So true.
Or respond or react to things that were ridiculous in ways that were like, yeah, this is ridiculous. React to it because it is ridiculous. Right. So it was just like cool, just like hanging out with these people.
I love that.
And just talking about just fun stuff all day. So that is up there as far as like a highlight of the summer.
That's huge.
And then the Olympics.
Wow.
You know, because the Olympics is one of those things where I was just like, Fiona and I were watching it, and sometimes I'm just there watching table tennis.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
And I would never be watching this, caught ever just sitting around watching table tennis.
Yeah.
But I'm like
so into it. I know.
It's like, how? Like, why am I so engaged this right now? Like, why I'm like, come on, you can do it. It's like every sport,
Same.
you're like, whoa. I want them to win. I'm invested now.
I bandwagon so hard. I'm starting like reading up the rules of like rhythmic gymnastics, and I'm like,
oh my
what?
God, but my like honestly, like I would watch it beyond the Olympics. Was I guess they've changed synchronized swimming to artistic swimming.
Yeah.
That to me, as soon as they're in the water, I'm like, I would already be dead. I would have drowned already. Like how? I'm already dead, y'all. Now y'all moonwalking in the water. How? I'm already dead. Like how? Like, you know how they say like a dead body will float?
Yeah.
Yo, I can't even do what a dead body can do. Like how? How they do that? Like I sink like a I sink like a stone. Like I instantly right to the bottom of the pool, and I have to try my hardest to come back up. But it's just such that's why they call it artistic swimming, but an art to it. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
But it's so built on like athletics and like having that ability. It's incredible. Yeah.
But see, but now see, these are the things I was hoping we would get if we were having this podcast during Olympics we could talk about. But now my brain is remembering all my reactions. So when I'm watching synchronized diving, that to me is just like, like are we really timing up like all of their motions like have to hit and then they have to hit the water? Like, that's okay. Boom, 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 splash or no splash. Awesome. Done. To have, which feels like the most insane Michael Jackson, like the biggest pop star live performance happening in water is insane to me.
It is pretty insane.
Like you're watching these dancers do things, but now do it in water. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, and they're going to do it in water. And it's so beautiful. And they come out of water. And I love this is from like a filming, I guess perspective. But the idea that when they first jump into the water and the camera is now below water and above water, I'm like, that's just so beautiful.
Yeah, I love seeing underwater. Yeah.
And it's so clear. You can see. And I just think like in terms of like any other sport, right? Because they're athletes still.
Yeah, it's a sport.
Compared to like, it's the prettiest thing to watch. It's the most thing where you're watching and I'm just like, wow, 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 wow. Like running fast, if you can run really fast, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
But I'm not watching it the whole time going, whoa, whoa, oh. I'm just like, oh, they're fast. Oh my goodness, they're going to win this. And are they going to win it? And they did. Wow, they're fast. In synchronized swimming, above anything else, I'm just like, what was that? Oh my goodness, look at that. Right. How are they doing that? That person and that person and that person, all of them together did the exact same move. And then these other four, like there's something about that is just beyond Olympics. Like I could watch, it's like the other day I was watching a machine, which was basically taught or told to do this through some sort of system, I guess, right? Like on a computer to like follow a pattern, right? And there were like dollops of paint in these sections, and it would just, this brush would just go around and paint this painting. And I just kept watching and watching. Like now the red brush that went through red paint is now going to go into a yellow paint. What is it going to do that? Oh, and just moving through. And you're just like, ooh, whoa, okay.
Okay, that's literally the kind of videos that's on Facebook to have you just watch content for like 45 minutes straight and nothing ever happens.
Oh, well, you see the painting.
Hilton right there.
Well, no. You see the end result.
Like when? 30 minutes in?
Oh, no. You have to swipe.
Yeah, I have to swipe till the end.
You have to swipe to see the end. But what I'm saying is, it's one of those things. Like when people love the power washing content.
We loved that.
It's one of those things where it's just like, I could keep watching this.
Yeah, there's something satisfying.
There's something very satisfying.
And the like exciting anticipation of like what's gonna happen is like fun to feel.
Yeah. So that was summer to me, and that's why I don't know, artistic swimming might make its way above Duncan.
Whoa.
No. I wasn't a part of it, but again, I would have already drowned in the water as soon as they jumped in. I was just like, you guys are so good. But shout out to anyone who does artistic swimming. You are
or any of the Olympic athletes, including the synchronized divers. I thought that
synchronized
was really
divers
cool.
are cool too. I'm just shouting out what I thought was special, right? Fair. What was your favorite event, sport?
So anything where Korea's on an international stage, I like really rally. Summer Olympics wise, our strongest are archery and fencing, and we won gold in both in groups and individual, which shout out Korea. You did great. What? Yeah, the shooting. Oh my gosh.
She was so amazing. Chick Korean?
Yeah, shooting chick was Korean. She's amazing. So basically they captured her like on live TV doing her event in shooting. And she just looked so badass that everyone was like, she's like a movie character without actually being in a movie. She's just like doing her sport.
She made herself, and she's basically going to be in the next John Wick film.
Yeah, she should be just playing herself.
It's going to happen.
And she's so cool. She's just like, she's a mom. She started pretty late in her life.
She's a mom.
This thing. Yeah.
Man,
has a daughter.
That is a badass mom right there.
And now she's like, she has a campaign with some luxury brand. She's in GQ in Korea. Like, what? She's on these shows. And she's so cool and down to earth. You would never notice that, like, in that film, in that, like, 10-second clip of her doing her sport where she just looks so scary.
So serious.
Yeah, so serious.
So serious like about
daggers out of her eyes.
Did she flip something after, bro? Like, I was like, don't come for me. Don't come for me.
But that, and then archery, I mean, the Koreans, since archery has been an Olympic sport in the 88 Summer Olympics in Seoul, Korea, we've constantly won in the women's group event, and we have again. So straight golds.
Do you have dual citizenship?
No.
So you are Korean. You're just visiting.
Yeah. I mean, I have a green card. So I'm a permanent resident alien.
All right. You still rep Korea though.
Hard.
As you should.
Hard.
I love it.
Which was really tough for me because they didn't show a lot of Korean sports, obviously, in like on American live TV. Yeah. So I had to do a lot of like backward searching to try to find and watch it live. But and fencing too. So cool. It's amazing how fast people can move is really my like number one takeaway from the Olympics. No matter what they're doing, I'm like, how do you move so quickly?
For sure. Athletes. Yeah. That's what it is. Athletics and the ability to be, breakdancing aside. Oh. I was going to say the top of whatever that sport is.
Yeah.
The best of the best and compete in the Olympics. And then so we can move on from the Olympics, I will say when it comes to fencing, there were so many events where I was just like, I don't understand what's happening. I just don't get fencing. I don't even understand when someone is like, did I touch you? And that's when they call it. And then we step back and we do it again. I just could never tell what was happening. And is there like a sensor in the thing? That's why
in their suits. And there are 3 different types of fencing too.
Got it. So in the Olympics, they're tethered to something that alerts them when they got hit.
When they get hit. But sometimes it happens so quick and it's both at the same time that they have to like visually go back and figure out when it was.
Got it. But yeah, the whole idea of fencing in the Olympics today is just a fun thing to see.
It's so cool. All of it's so cool. Yeah. I love that we get to like really care about sports that we would normally never think about in our day-to-day lives.
Oh, for sure.
And that those sports get like the recognition that they deserve and like the attention and popularity.
Like not hurdles. What's the when you run and you take the long pole
jumping.
Is it pole jumping?
Right.
Pole vaulting.
Pole vaulting.
I watched that. Watched pole vaulting. Watched homie break the record.
That was amazing. The Swedish American guy.
When you say Swedish American, he's really just American. And I did notice that. Take note, most of the people who were winning for other countries, they were just American. They were then American representing that country. Like
he has a Swedish passport.
Of course, Holland will have a Dutch passport.
Okay.
She could in the future, if she was good at some sort of sport and she wanted to be in the Olympics, she could then go and play for the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
And wear orange all day. His mom just happens to be Swedish. He grew up in Louisiana.
He did.
He's from Louisiana. Represent.
He can represent as much as he wants.
He can.
His mother's Swedish. Maybe he grew up in a Swedish culture at home. I don't know.
Many of these people just couldn't make it on the American team, and they were like, "Who's good?"
Wow, I did not say that he did. I do not agree. Actually, I do not support this messaging at all.
It's a hot take. It's
way too hot of a take that I'm going nowhere close to that.
It's a hot take. America. No, we crushed it. America, we crushed it. This is one of the things where, when you're watching Olympics and you're like, I feel so American. Like, I never really feel this, like, I'm just like, America, and you're let's go. USA. like, God damn. Like, you really are like watching the flags go up and you're like, I do feel a sense of pride.
You're like shedding a tear.
I feel a sense of pride.
That's how I feel about when Koreans come up on stage.
So I bet. Another thing, I don't know, we've been I wish we would have done this during the Olympics because I had so many takes then, but I'm just remembering this. I didn't really see too many of which I remember as a child or not so long ago, like hearing other like national anthems.
Anthems, yeah.
And I didn't see many of that. Like I didn't hear other countries' national anthems. And I thought that was pretty disappointing because I love hearing that.
Me too. I do too. They're so fascinating. They're all so different, but also like resounding and powerful. Yeah.
There was a football game. The National Football League played their first game in Brazil. Mm-hmm. And whenever they do these international games, they always do both national anthems.
Oh, nice.
And they had a Brazilian sing the Brazilian national anthem, obviously. Cool. And like when I'm watching our national anthems and like our regular games, you don't see the crowd, everyone singing the national anthem. Like it's like singing. Such a I don't know if it's just because they knew that quote unquote the world would be seeing this game, but everyone's like full throated, belting out their national anthem.
I bet they just do that. I bet
they probably do.
It wasn't just for this occasion.
Because I saw a lot of that like. In like for the Olympics for us when there's the American flags going up, everyone's singing because now it's just like there's where that sense of pride is. Where like because we're in the crowd, everyone's from all different countries. You want to shout out our country, but there's like a full stadium, just people like really into their national anthem, and that was like really cool to see. So yeah, man, I enjoyed the summer. The summer was awesome. I had a great summer.
I had a good summer too.
I think we took back summer. You know what I mean? Like I think summer here in my world, maybe in yours, I think summer got represented really well. I mean, honestly, we would have done more outside if our daughter wasn't here, but it didn't arrive when she did. But I think the fact that the Olympics was around was really special.
That helped a lot.
It did help a lot when you have to be inside a lot.
It was also just so warm. Like it got too hot sometimes.
It was warm, but this isn't a podcast about weather. So we're not going to talk about how the weather broke in August early and now we're in the fall. But it does feel like it felt short, and that's what you want summer to be.
Because so much happened.
So much happened. And now you're like, damn it, I'm going to miss summer. And that's what I loved about it. But now
good summer.
I had a great summer. What else is happening in my life? Things at home.
Yeah.
So we've been renovating. We've renovated during the summer while having an infant in the house.
My goodness. And a new kitty.
We got a new cat at the same time. Everything just thrown on top of each other. Once you have chaos, a little bit more chaos is
interesting.
It feels like it doesn't even exist because like it's already chaotic.
So you're gonna have a third child?
right now, like right this very moment. No, we're done with children.
Just add to the chaos. You said
a little
more doesn't make a difference.
At the same time, like, I think at this point it's not as chaotic. The construction that was happening in the house is no longer happening.
Right.
Holland and the cat and Veda have all come to an agreement.
We had a meeting of the minds. Like
they're all like
sorted the hierarchy.
We're gonna take out time. We're gonna break it up when we're gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
You go first. Then you take the afternoons. I'll take the evenings.
And Veda's like, I'm gonna take Pepper's like, I'm gonna take in between every time you guys go nuts, then I'll go nuts. So for them, it's staggered.
Good.
For us, it's like, oh my God. Constant like chaos. But the renovations we're working on the upstairs. So when we first moved in, when we first purchased the house, the goal was to renovate the first floor because that's the heavy stuff, right? Kitchens, sunrooms, things walls, right? So we removed this is an old house built in 1905. So a lot of knob and tube wiring in the house, which is not safe. Mm-hmm. So we had that all stripped from the house. So if you're buying an old home, I would recommend, the fire department would probably also recommend you remove any knob and tube wiring and update your electrical in the house. So that's what we did before we moved in. So we had the whole first floor in the house renovated in a sense where there's no knob and tube,
right? And
fresh coat of paint throughout the second and third floor. But the first floor had the heavy renovation. So the room that we're in, those listening, obviously you might know this, but we're in my sunroom. This used to be a sunroom. It was still a sunroom, but it wasn't this sunroom.
No,
it didn't have a lot of windows. It didn't have the wood slatted ceiling that we have, and it didn't have tile floors. It had carpet and regular drywall ceiling.
So you did all that when?
We did this when we purchased the house in 2020. We started renovation that fall in 2020, and then we moved in May of 21.
Okay, so then like 3 years later, you're working on
and 3 years later, we're now upstairs. So Holland was born in 2021. You're selling into a new home. We're also trying to make up for all the money we just spent on the home and the renovation, right? Yep. So I think when you're renovating, you got to take it kind of piecemeal in some sort of sense, especially when you're not... You want to keep the charm of an old home if that's your goal, but you also want to not rush into making decisions just out the gate, not living in the space.
For sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, like we knew what we wanted for the kitchen, the sunroom, obviously, in the first floor, but upstairs, bedroom, like what is that going to be? Like the bathroom, we need to do that, but let's put the money in the things that we need right now to live in the house.
Right.
So we just had the bathroom renovated. We turned a small room that's connected to what we kind of call our suite, or connected somewhat to our primary bedroom into our closet. So like a walk-in closet.
So
sounds fancy.
Sounds super fancy.
Sounds fancy. Looks fancy.
You turned a room into a closet.
Yeah,
that's fancy.
That closet has a closet. Yeah, well, it has to.
That's so meta.
Those who don't know, if you ever sell a house, if you want to claim a bedroom have to have a closet.
Yes, that's how it's considered a bedroom.
That's how so we kept the closet's closet, or the bedroom's closet. But now the closet has a bedroom. But maybe we just call this closet a dressing room.
Dressing room.
You know what I mean? So we have a little dressing room. So as I mentioned this earlier, Fiona loves it. It was a beautiful thing to hear and see when Fiona sat in it for the first time after it was done. And she was like, this just feels so good.
Yay.
Just like being in this space.
I love to hear that.
I could see it in her face.
Yeah.
But I could also feel it like in the room. I'm like, she's right. This room feels awesome.
That's awesome.
Like sitting in there, like if you take a shower and you're sitting there, you're just like waiting to think of like, what am I going to wear?
Yeah.
Like that's a room to go to contemplate. What shall I wear today?
It's the thinking room.
It's just like, let me just sit here.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll just take the baby up there and just sit in the closet.
I love that so much.
Like, okay. While you're there, can you actually like fold sometimes? Yeah. You're already there.
That's so special though, to be able to turn a space that like no one really utilized or cared about into something so special and you want to spend time with. It's like you unlocked a whole nother space in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing. Like we knew we were going to do that. But it was like when we first moved in, it was like, we have no time for that. And that room for the last 2.5 years before we then did this renovation had just been like staging area for just, when you're not sure what the room's going to be.
Do, yeah.
It like clothes are just piling up.
Right.
We had tried like some like temporary things, and whenever I would walk in there, I would just feel my energy be pulled away because I'd be so frustrated with the fact that like I'm someone who doesn't like clutter.
Yeah.
I need it. So having kids is testing my patience. But like they say, you show a kid what you want and hopefully they'll follow. So instead of me going to Holland every day, like, you have to put away your toys.
Right.
I just put them away. And she slowly sees like, this is how this works. But hopefully she's not looking like,
I know,
Daddy puts away my toys.
I don't need to do it.
Yeah. So I will verbalize, hey, this is what happens. You pull a toy out. Once you're done with it, you put it away. Okay. See how Daddy's putting this away? Yeah. You should watch more, or put your listening ears on and your listening eyes and watch Daddy do what you should be doing in the future. But
that's how, and then now Holland's room. So
yeah, so then it wasn't a renovation, but Holland's room. So Holland had a room, and she was in her first room, which is what we call the nursery. Mm-hmm. It's a baby, put her in there. And then because she's older, we have a second child.
Right. That
child needs a nursery.
Right.
So Holland had to go somewhere. Right. Now, I asked my mom if she had a place Holland could stay. No.
One in, one out.
Yeah, come on. It takes a community. Or what is it? A village. It takes a village, right? It takes a village. So we have a few rooms in this house. The room that Holland moved in was our guest room. Mm. So we moved Holland from her nursery to the guest room. And in order to make it feel fun and special to her, we updated it. We made it, by we, I'm going to say me, because Fiona was like, if you want to waste your time. No, she was like,
and he did.
She was like, do it. She's going to love it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, painted the room. I can't even say the walls. Painted every surface of it except for the floors. Because if you listen to our friend, made a big shout out here again, Leanne Ford, she's like, I'll paint a floor in a heartbeat, and I'll get to that too. But painted a room, and what Holland suggested was, she said, give me rainbow color. She wanted the color of the rainbow, which is a lot of colors, right? So I showed her all the colors that I would paint her room, and she was like, yeah. She was super excited about it. So to not even hide the room from her, because kids are kids. If a door is closed, sometimes they won't open it.
What?
She doesn't open the door, it's closed. She's kind of just like, she's not a cat. She doesn't need to be in a space. That door was closed for 3 weeks.
She was cool with it?
Didn't even think to go in there. Because she saw the room as the guest room. So that's what she knew it as.
Oh, okay.
She would call it Oma's room. That's her grandmother. Or Mimi's room. That's her other grandmother, my mom. Uncle Peter's room, because he stayed in there as a guest. So she didn't really think of it as her room. We told her it was going to be her big girl room soon, but she didn't really think about it until we revealed it to her. So we painted the room, and I gave it this what I called colorful clouds sort of theme.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, go on Hilton's Instagram.
Go to my social. Go to Instagram.
It's
You'll
just
see
magical.
It there. Painted the ceiling fan yellow to represent the sun.
Yeah.
And then styled the room with all of these pieces. Shout out to Pottery Barn Kids for playing with me in the space, and made it something special for her, which I thought would be fun.
Yeah.
And it worked because the reaction video of her seeing it for the first time wasn't the reaction that you would want from a kid to see something.
Especially on video, you're like, do the thing.
Do the thing.
Start crying, yelling, I don't know.
Start crying, you little 3-year-old. You cry so much. Cry now. Tears of joy. But her instant reaction that day was the thing that you figured you would want, was basically after she's like, everything's bedroom. Like, she comes home from school. She's like, can we do this in my room? And she says, like, can we do this in my new room that Dada painted for me? And she like wants to do everything in the room, wants to get right into bed.
I mean, what more could you ask?
What more could you ask? Like you get a kid to go into bed.
Yeah.
She loves to be in her room. So that's been
what I
awesome to see.
Love about the room is that I was really curious what like Hilton's vision of a child's space would look like, because you're so about like clean lines, neutrals, like, you know, texture. And I'm like, how does that translate into a kid's room? But I love that you really took Holland's idea and kept it hers.
Yeah.
While putting your like finishing touches on it. Because so many people like especially like beautiful homes are, you know, they have kids' rooms that look like an adult's room came up with it and did it and was like, okay, honey, like live
in this space.
Sure.
Now.
Like you like blue, like gray is close to blue. You know what I mean?
You like blue, gray is close to blue.
And it just like ends up being something else. And I just love that this room is so playful. It's magical. It makes me, I feel like I would feel so like creative and inspired as a child in there, and like free to just have fun and be weird and crazy. And I feel like that room really captures that.
I'm glad you feel that way, because that was the goal. I mean, look, the idea that this is her room, you know, like at the end of the day, you think about all the from the perspective of how to make this her room. Mm-hmm. I thought about my own childhood, what I would have wanted as a child, and all the things I thought when I was a kid. Like, I don't want my parents in my room. She's not at that age, but she like things that I wanted to feel like mine, and I wanted to have a space that felt playful and that was going to be fun for me. And when she said she wanted rainbow color, I mean, all the things that we as parents, and I'm sure many people will agree with this, is that primary color toys do not bring those things into our home. We don't want them. If you gift me a primary colored toy, I'm going to lose my mind. If you want my kid to have these red, yellow, blue, green, like, come on, why does it have to be a part of my house now? But that's what my kid likes.
Now it's all on your walls.
That's what a child wants.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, that's what she wants. Holland loves rainbows. She loves it. She loves rainbows. She loves unicorns. She's just a typical kid. And I was like, that's her space. Let's give her that. You're not going to see that throughout the rest of my house. Right. But in her special place where she spends her time, most of her time now. Yeah. And like, I wanted to feel special for her. People are like, well, I hope she doesn't want to get rid of it next year or 3 years from now. I'm like, if she does, so be it.
Then
it's
repaint it. Yeah.
Yeah. We paint the room a different color. I don't know how many people, like so many wonderful comments, but when people write comments where I'm just like, why would I be afraid to repaint my kid's room? I hope she's not still trying to live in that room 5 years from now.
Right.
If she is, so be it, but it's going to look a whole lot different. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, let's try something new. Like, she's going to grow and change, and her favorite color isn't going to be purple forever. Right.
Maybe.
Right. So she's going to want to change things up. Like, it has a ton of H's on there. She's really into H now.
Maybe tomorrow it's a Z.
Yeah, like, it's a Z. And I have to repaint.
But you're so spots. Right. It's not permanent.
It's not permanent. None of this stuff is permanent. Yeah. So I had fun. She loves it. I love the fact that she loves it. And the thing is, and you'll get to see. I'm surprised we haven't not surprised, but we haven't taken you up to see it yet. Yeah. But when I'm in there, when Fiona and I are in there at night, it does feel really awesome.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in there, I'm like, this is an awesome room.
It feels vibey from the
It does.
photos.
It's like very nice in there at night. It's like all the little things that are in there that we styled it with. It just feels really good. And
I love that.
She loves it. So yeah, it's been fun. But
that should be like one of your top two highlights of the summer.
Oh, painting that room?
Yeah.
Well, as far as like the summer goes, so I kind of separate that from like work stuff.
Fair.
Like the renovations of the house, or like that's having a child, like that's beyond anything. Like you can't even compare that. But like the things that I've got to utilize my creative spirit in, like that is far up on top of the list, one or two. And I'll put that either. I mean, there's the guest room, the bathroom, the dressing room, all these spaces in our home that we spend. Like when we bought the house, a lot of people, and again, this is in the same respect of like people that you see, designers who do homes, always go, do they even spend time in these rooms? You know what I mean? These rooms aren't to be lived. These rooms aren't lived-in rooms.
Exactly.
When we were looking for a home, we were like, let's buy a house that we know every single room in there we are going to spend time in, or someone's going to spend time in it. It'll be utilized. So we don't have a living room for show. Yeah. Like people walk in and maybe when people come over, maybe we'll sit in there and drink cocktails.
The formal living room.
The formal living room, right? Like, well, I mean, we can all dream, right? We can all dream. But no, we wouldn't have even wanted that. You know, like we want a space where every room is touched. So the guest room was a guest room that even as a guest room, there's plenty of times where the guest room is the second bedroom for one of us. Mm-hmm. Because if you're sick, I'm pointing to you like as if you're Fiona. If Fiona's sick, I'll go into the guest room and sleep there tonight.
Well, you still have a guest room.
We had to move the guest room for a room for guests to our upstairs, which is kind of like our attic, our third floor, which was just used for storage and workout equipment, a Peloton and a weight bench. Mm-hmm. And it was again one of those sad rooms, like when you go to work out,
like a dead space.
Let's get out. And also just like hot.
Yeah.
Because there's no insulation up there.
Oh.
So when we were going to turn it into a guest room, I was like, well, that's one of the things we have to do is insulate it. And I also want to raise the ceilings because I know that we can because there's nothing up there beyond the peak of the house. So renovating the guest room is also one of my top things that I've been working on so far this year. It's just because you get to touch all of the design or special design elements or I would say themes that make a guest room interesting. Mm-hmm. And I treated the guest room like thinking about all the time, like when I go to a hotel. I spent plenty of time in hotels. This year, in the last few years, like being on a book tour, and what made me feel at home or comfortable in the room. Like thinking about when I'm sleeping in the bed, is it nice to have a switch right next to the bed to turn the light off?
The best.
Those things, adding those things, details matter.
Yeah.
So I got to do that there. And then back to my friend Leanne Ford, shout out to Leanne Ford, another individual who has a book coming out. Leanne Ford's new book is coming out soon. Go pre-order that. It comes out in October next month. But Leanne's a big advocate of painting floors. And I was talking to her about possibly painting our floors white. And if you bring that up, it's like if someone came to me and was like, I was thinking about bringing a plant into, before they finish the sentence, I'm like, bring the plant to your house. Do it. She's like, I was thinking about painting. She's like, your floors, do it now. White, paint it white. And I got it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to paint my floors white. Tell me the right type of white, not just white, but the type of paint. If you're gonna paint a floor white, that won't chip, but also doesn't get too dirty. She's like, look, shit it's gonna get dirty. One thing she said, I think I said this on another podcast was she was like, as soon as it's done, as soon as the room's done, have a party.
Just have everyone
just get it over with.
Just get it
do
over
it
with.
Now. Yeah. Do it now. Rip the Band-Aid off so that it won't
hurt later.
It won't hurt later. So so that was one of those things where it's just like, yeah, let's do it. But we painted it white. I put in all the details that I felt would make it special for a guest.
I mean, I think the white floors really add to like the ample light you introduce to the space with the skylights as well, and the way that like bounces off the floor too.
Yeah. Shout out to Velux. They gifted those skylights because I've been bugging them. Yeah. Bugging them. Like, I need skylights in my house. Like, I love light. And if we can bring light in with skylights, I would love to. So when we were thinking about that space being renovated, I was like, the one thing that changes any space, any really interior space is light.
So true.
If you can bring light in, like that changes who we are, how we feel. And I was just like, I need to add skylights into this space. So we did that. And then I just went to town with styling it and making it special for as many guests as we're going to have.
Also on Instagram if you want to see the before and after.
Also on social. I might want to do a whole book about all of this. Maybe that's it. Maybe my next book can be about the guest room. No. But about interiors, we'll see. Interiors, I love interiors. Yes. But yeah, man, that's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
A lot of just as Ryan likes to talk about, the tooth, touching your tooth, touching that interiors creative tooth, trying to spread as much of my creative spirit into all of the buckets of things that I do.
Yeah.
I know you asked, do I still like plants? Which is a weird thing to
do you though?
Fucking ask me.
Do you though?
But maybe we'll get more into that later. I'm in a room surrounded by plants. If you're not watching this, I don't know why she's asking. But maybe we'll talk more about sharing about plants. Do you like plants?
I love plants.
Same. I love them. Do I like them? I love them. You know me. I do love a good plant here and there.
Love me a good plant.
But yeah, man. That's what I've been up to.
Good job.
That's what I've been up to. But if you've been listening, things you should go and do, pick up Leanne Ford's new book.
Yeah.
Pick up Craig Melvin's new book.
Yeah.
Go and support his wife and his
Bottoms Up Invitational.org.
Donate to colon cancer. And make sure AWA, shout out to Shackle back. The AWA. Accidentally Wes Anderson new book comes out in October as well, I believe. Mm-hmm. So make sure you go pick that up. That one's going to be I already pre-ordered mine. One of the special edition ones. It comes with a compass.
Oh, cute.
Right, Ryan? Comes with a compass.
Gosh, they have the best merch.
They do. Shout out to Wally and Amanda.
Yeah,
God,
y'all have the best merch.
They knocked it out. I'm excited for a lot of people who want to big hold up, Brian. We didn't even touch on this. Major shout out, real quick. Our friend of the podcast, our favorite cookbook author, who is tearing it up. We visited her for an episode during the solar eclipse. Pregnant.
Allison?
Having a baby.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Allison. Congratulations.
Congrats, Allison.
You and the fam. That is beautiful. Love to see it.
Yay.
Love to see it.
That's baby's going to eat so good. I'm
jealous.
Going
to eat well. Speaking of eating well, hey, everyone,
eat
please
well,
eat well. Eat all of these episodes. I think we have like 36 in the can.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
We're keeping it going.
We're keeping it going. So what do you tell people to do?
Press the button, do the thing, like, subscribe, etc.
Do all of it. And thank you so much for tuning in. You'll be hearing from us very soon.
Peace.
Balancing work and life can be really stressful, and finding ways to work through the stress is always a goal of mine. Of course, the process of nurturing plants helps me to slow down, take a breath, and bring in joy. But unfortunately, my plants aren't licensed therapists with expert advice. Regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or you're just a human who lives in this world who is going through a hard time, therapy can give you the tools to approach your life in a very different way. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. There's a link in my description. It's betterhelp.com/Hilton. Clicking this link helps to support this channel, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a little like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing with therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. Starting this podcast was supposed to be a little extra therapy for me, getting the ideas in my head out. Good to know I can always use BetterHelp just in case Mollie can't help me. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Hilton. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for supporting this channel.